morning, traders. Welcome to the TMT Stock Market Strategy video for Tuesday, November 8th. It is election day, and we're going to see what happens tonight at the polls, and it will be a wild ride in the futures. Trust me when I tell you that. Once the after hours closes at 8 o'clock and it's all futures, it's going to be pretty much wild swings when they start bringing in the votes and the polls start coming in. Who's going to win? Again, I think this is totally my technical view. Not to be taken for, if you will, some sort of recommendation. I'm just saying and talking about the election itself. I think that even if Clinton does get in, you're going to get the knee-jerk reaction like we did today, that the FBI cleared Clinton again twice. And pretty much I think it's baked in. I really do think it's baked in. Now, we might get another push higher today and in the overnight and even into Wednesday. But at one point in time, I think reality sets in that, oh my gosh, we have Democrats again, and we had another 8 years. The reason why we rallied so hard was because of the 2009 crash and liquidity pumping nonstop. So we'll see if that happens. That liquidity card is really pretty much dead. So I don't think you see much more upside, at least in the short term. And we'll see if we get some sort of market correction, which I think is so overdue, which would be so healthy for the markets. But again, we trade what we see. So we'll see what happens. If Trump gets in, and I would not count him out, I do not think that it's going to be that much of a landslide. I think that it's going to be very close. That's just my opinion. And if Trump does get in, look out below. You're going to have a major liquidity push lower, risk off environment, gold exploding, dollar exploding, which I think the dollar would move either way up. It usually happens during election time. All right. Well, we were up big today. Based on that FBI news about 4 o'clock yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, on Sunday. So let's see what happens. We got the VIX that put in a buy signal for equities and a sell signal for volatility. You could see that every time we close out of the band, we need 1 day out and at least 1 or 2 days in the band. And sure enough, we got it today. So that gives us a confirmation sell signal for the VIX and a confirmation buy signal for U.S. equities. However, we are coming into a major risk event and anything can happen. So you can throw all of this stuff out the window. Believe it or not, you can throw all the analysis work out the window for the next couple of days anyway. But just wanted to show you where we are here. Crude oil pretty much hit all of our 3 targets with the 200-day moving average here. And again, logical spot for a pop. And I think here that I like to see crude, even get to this little trend line here that comes in around 40. And even if we kind of revert back down again and then start to rally into this area here, I probably look to buy crude. And even then, we don't forget we have an OPEC meeting, so there is a risk factor involved in buying crude. But down here, I'd rather be a better buyer here than it was up here. And I told you guys many times, don't buy crude up here off of this rally and off of this news that OPEC is meeting on a production cut. Usually it doesn't happen. If it does happen, they break down in talks. So just something to think about. Here's UWTI I like to look at and trade. We are into some good support here. So if you are looking to buy it, yesterday's high would be either a buy trigger and very easy to manage. Got your doji candle right here from Friday, 1724. Call it 1720, 1715, whatever your risk tolerance is. Put a stop below that, and you're pretty much done. And if that does work out, you're going to look for a take profit somewhere around here to create that bear flag. All right, that's the UWTI. UUP, again, pulling back, normal pullback. I think it's okay. I think the dollar still surges higher. Because that's just what happens when you have a risk-off environment, and even with a presidential election, usually the dollar rips for a little bit. And here's a nice, beautiful bull flag coming off of that symmetrical triangle. So still looking for this target and looking for these 3 targets to the upside. Next, GDX, and remember, guys, risk off, risk on. GDX will get clobbered or will rally the next day. So it depends on what gold is doing. Just keep that in mind here. You can see we have another, if you will, bear flag. Look at the internals. They're not really looking too good. The momentum indicators, they're not looking too good here. Even though they kind of pop, but they're starting to roll over again. which tells me I think we're looking for some more downside probing. 116, 118 the first spot, and then of course a 61.8% retracement. And remember, you cannot rule out a major flush here because of the fact you have what? A very thin zone here coming off of this area if we were to get down here. Once we get down here, I believe we could flush all the way down to the 76% retracement. Okay? So that's something that we're watching for the coming days. I think gold's setting up to put in a nice big flush and then a buy. Spiders, you can see the symmetrical triangle here. Beautiful pullback. Now, what happens on any of these breaks? You usually get a back test, right? You usually get a bear flag. In this case, we are up, and then boom, we get a move lower. And that's what we're looking for. We're getting maybe another move into this area, into the upper end of this descending triangle trend line. Hopefully, and not hopefully, but if we do fail, the reason why is I think there's limited upside, but there's tons of downside targets here that we can actually capitalize on. And that's something that we're going to be looking for. Transports, beautiful, beautiful breakout. You can see that. We've been watching it. How many times I mentioned, guys, transport's just not breaking down. So that, and I said that's a good sign and a good bullish case. So we could see some upside probing. One day does not make a trend, but I do love the volume confirming today's move. That is just something that you don't see too much here in the markets because of a lot of the dark pools. But this is beautiful, beautiful. So, you got to be careful if you're looking to get short. Not saying that the markets are done going down, but, you could get a big rally in the transports, which could actually change things around. Let me show you something else here, which I've shown you before. Haven't showed it to you in a while because we really didn't do anything. Here's an overlay of the Dow Jones diamonds and the transports, okay? Now, we took out this previous area here, and you know what, let me just mark this while I got you guys here. All right, and I like to kind of just see where we are here in this trend. All right, and now we've taken that out, where in the diamonds, if you will, we are still kind of sideways here. We did take it out, but not a lot of conviction. So I want to see now both of them starting to chug along here. We took out all of the major swing highs. We still have swing highs here to work with and deal off of, which is right about here. Okay, so something like this, I'd like to keep an eye on, doing your end of the day analysis work, and see if we take that out and transports follow because it is our leader. Then the market's pretty much in good shape and pretty much pause for another move higher, or at least challenge the highs. Russell 2000, big gap up, but again, one big day, and it is a big day, but look at the internals, really not doing much. Very, very weak to Russell. If the market does roll over, I'm going to be looking to short the Russell first before any other index. And lastly is the Qs. You can see same thing here. I would like to, guys, watch technology. I mean, tech has been doing pretty lousy the last couple of weeks, and it looks like money's rotating out of tech and going into some of these safe haven plays. But again, everything could be just thrown out the window with what happens tonight, all right? So just be careful. Even if you don't even trade today, to me, it's going to be a non-event. I'm going to be looking for setups going into post-election. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I think after this election's over, guys, you're going to have a good, solid 5 weeks of trading, okay, into December 25th, all right, into Christmas here in the United States and around the world. So be patient. Let the setups come to you. They're going to come, and if they do come, and so you don't get stuck in a crappy trade, you guys will be ready to go and rock and roll when you see a high probability trade. Hope it helps. Again, be careful today. Election tonight. Watch the results. Go look at your futures because it's going to be crazy tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.